Hi guys, here we are, MMA UK News, Stoomboy as always, MMA UK BJJ show. So talking about grappling as we've been doing the last couple of weeks now, talking specifically about Grapple Kings 8. So Grapple Kings 8 is going to be next Saturday, so we're only a week away now. It's going to be at the Radisson Blu Hotel in Cardiff. Now I know there's been a couple of different venue changes, but obviously they were trying to get the right venue. So obviously originally it was Southampton, then moved to Newport, but now it's definitely going to be at, well, let's hope so. It's going to be at the Radisson Blu Hotel in Cardiff. Again, it's a brilliant venue. Again, really intimate venue as well. So everything's close. Obviously, the fighters will be right there in front of all the action. So it's going to be a good event, really good event. Now it's going to be Team England versus Team Wales. So we're talking about some of the best grapplers that both countries have on offer at the moment. And the winner goes on and takes on Team Ireland later on in the year, I believe November, December time. I think it's either going to be in Ireland or Northern Ireland. But again, obviously, a venue for that will be announced hopefully within the coming months. So tickets, head over to the Grapple Kings Facebook page. It'll take you through to their website and you'll get them through Eventbrite. 30 or £35, depending on where you're going to be sitting. And there is pay-per-view on this as well. So it's going to be on Fight TV. So again, I'll announce the pay-per-view details and the pricing at the end of this interview. So my next guest is going to be on the show that night. So Chris, the Myth Sterling. So Chris is going to be representing Impact Gym, going to be part of Team Wales. So obviously Ash Williams has put an unbelievable team together that's going to be representing Team Wales on that night. So Chris, listen, absolute pleasure, buddy. Thank you very much for obviously taking the time to speak to me. I know you've had a busy day already today.
Yeah, it's nice to speak to you as well. Had my grappling competition this weekend, so went down to Bristol Open, which is in Thornbury. Picked up the gold, so I got 3 out of 3 wins, which I'm happy with. Didn't get a point scored on me today, which is also a bonus, which I'm happy with. So yeah, really good prep to head into next week, and obviously I'll be representing well, so get a W for the boys.
Definitely. And it's a great team as well. I mean, obviously Ash has put an unbelievable team. I mean, both teams, Team England and Team Wales. And I keep saying, obviously, some of the best grapplers across, obviously, different belts, male and female. So, but the Welsh team seems to be full of absolute stars, by the way. I mean, a lot of really unbelievable talent in the Welsh team.
Yeah, Ash has sort of had it good. It's like he's playing a video game. He's just got everyone he can pick, and he's just picking the all-stars from like everywhere and just chucked them into team well. So it's a really good team. Looking forward to the day.
Yeah. It's going to be an awesome day as well. I mean, I say a little bit closer. I know that originally it was going to be Southampton, which was going to be a bit of a trek to head over. For you. So I don't know if you got that there. So I was just saying, obviously, Cardiff, a little bit closer venue for yourself, Chris. So a lot closer to get to than the original venue, Southampton.
Yeah, it's like anytime you can travel less, it's good, really. So yeah, the closer it is, the happier I'm with. And it does sound like a decent venue by the sounds of it. So it looks like we got a W in the fact that it's closer, and it seems like a nicer venue as well. So yeah. Well pleased.
Yeah, definitely. It's a nice venue. Had a look at some of the pictures and so on. I know that Adrian and the Grapple Kings team, obviously they'd looked at the 3 different venues. Originally had the first one, that fell through. Second one, and then obviously they thought, listen, Cardiff is probably the best place to put it. So it does look like a great venue, and I say it looks like it's going to be very intimate. So when I say it, as you know, when I say intimate, obviously the spectators are all going to be on top of the action, which is brilliant. I mean, it's always good. And the good thing about the Welsh crowd, as you probably know, the Welsh crowd, they know what they're talking about. They know what they're watching when it comes to any combat sports.
Yeah, the Welsh do love their sports. And I'm looking forward to represent them, even though I'm like a invader coming in from England to join their team. Hopefully they respect it, and then get good reaction from them.
Yeah. Listen, we've seen it before. We saw it with Ellis Younger at SGI, one of the previous SGIs. We had the 4 nations, and I think Team Wales come up with a team. Originally, it was meant to be 5, and one unfortunately pulled out on the day. and then when he came up, Ellis Younger put on a Welsh top. And represented Wales for one night, so we've seen it before. So yeah, listen, obviously you guys are again affiliated with Team Drag anyway, so it made sense. Obviously you were gonna be representing Ash Williams in some way anyway.
Yeah, and then just having the chance to compete was the big thing. And yeah, I feel at Gym Drake, they do training well, so technically we are representing a Welsh gym in that sense. So yeah, I'm just happy to compete and get out there.
Definitely. And then what about you training wise? So obviously grappling, I know obviously you professional MMA fighter as well, but in regards to grappling, I mean, how's training going for that? I mean, how often do you get to train grappling?
Yeah, so with grappling wise, I'm training all the time, like train mornings and evenings, and it's all sort of mixed around with different disciplines. But grappling is sort of once our grappling team's a lot bigger than our MMA team, so we always get good rounds in grappling. But I just came out of a training camp, so I was meant to have a MMA fight next Sunday. So that got cancelled last week, and then the whole show got pulled, so I couldn't get a replacement. I'm in really good shape, so I asked Ash if he could get me in. He got me in, so yeah, definitely appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, it's good to keep busy as well. I mean, as I said, I know that one of the guys I know up here in Scotland, Aidan Stephen, that's what he regularly does. I mean, obviously Cage Warriors, a Cage Warriors fighter, but what he does is he does obviously grappling comps when he's not got obviously a Cage Warriors fight coming up and so on. So he always likes to keep himself busy and keep himself in competition mode as well.
I find that as well. I find the more I compete, the more sharper I feel. I've sort of had, especially after lockdown, you sort of the first comps you're getting back into it kind of feels like new again when you're out there in comp, and you get a couple in, you're like, it's back how it used to be. You get your form going, and then I've been smashing it recently on the grappling scene. So yeah, pray that can continue.
I spoke to Mitch yesterday as well, and because obviously Mitch being an MMA fighter as well, and we spoke about mentality when it comes into, because obviously it's going to be a different mentality from an MMA fight to a jiu-jitsu fight. Mitch was saying jiu-jitsu is maybe a little bit more relaxed. Mitch was also saying as well that sometimes he goes into competitions or any kind of grappling event, and sometimes he feels a bit too relaxed. What about you in regards to your mentality? Then what's the kind of difference for yourself?
I find as far as the competition goes, the training I definitely find the MMA training camp harder than a grappling training camp. Strikes are involved. You just take knocks from that. Grappling's still difficult, but when you take in getting hit in the head, getting kicked, and so on, you do take your knocks. Competition-wise, I feel the same. So I'm a super competitive person. So it doesn't matter if we're playing the little simplest game, I'll still feel the same nerves and I want to win no matter what. So both of them I still feel the same when I'm competing. It's nice when you compete in jiu-jitsu because normally you don't come out, like you come out of aches, but it's nothing too bad. But MMA, like you can win the fight and still come out a bit battered. So that's probably the difference. So jiu-jitsu, you can compete every weekend and it should be sound, fingers crossed. But MMA, you've got to take your little gaps in between.
Yeah. What about weight-wise? I mean, obviously, do you still do the similar weight cut for jiu-jitsu or for grappling that you would do for MMA?
So with jiu-jitsu, I try to cut the least amount of weight as possible. So most jiu-jitsu comps I do, I try to do at 79. If there's 73, which is like bang on the middle, perfect, I normally do that. But I find if you go down too low, because same day weigh-in, you come in, the match starts, you're like, I got nothing here. Whereas if you come in hydrated, you can smash it. And I find with grappling, I never feel out strength no matter the weight class I'm at. I think that's the main thing people are worried about with weight classes, getting out strength and held down against sort of a dominant opponent. I never sort of feel that, so I feel like I can go in sort of higher weight classes. Obviously, there's a limit where it gets to the point of no return, like the absolutes and so on. But I find, anywhere between 70 and 80, I feel fine with.
Too comfortable at that weight, I'd say, because I know that again, talking to Mitch and talking to other MMA fighters, again, they don't try not to cut a lot of weight, certainly for grappling events, but obviously because I mean your weight cuts for MMA can be brutal sometimes, so they try not to cut a lot of weight, which is good. I mean, it means you come in again. You talked about the same day weigh-ins. I mean, if you had a day before weigh-in, then maybe a little bit different, but because it's the same day, you want to keep that energy, you want to keep hydrated and so on as well. So it's good that you're going to come. So what are you doing this comp with this one? You're going to be what, under
So this one's under 70 kilos, which
Right.
is really sound for me.
Yeah, nah. So you've got to feel comfortable, got to feel strong as well. So plus obviously you had the comp today, so you're going to come in. Obviously, you've had obviously the comp today, so you got obviously a little bit going in there with a little bit of, I don't even know how would you say it, a little bit of momentum carrying into next week. Yeah. So
yeah, I feel that as well. I feel ready to go. I felt ready to go today, but I feel even more ready to go after the competition.
Yeah, definitely. And then what about the matchup then? So obviously we know you guys are affiliated with Team Drake, so you were obviously going to be, Impact was obviously going to be a part of this event. So how did you find out then that you were going to be matched up on the card?
So what happened was my fight got cancelled. I sort of gave it a couple of days. I signed up for the competition this weekend. Spoke to Tom, see if Tom, who's my grappling coach, Tom O'Hagan, see if he could speak to Ash about getting me in. I was like, I know it's a bit short notice, but if you can get me in, I really appreciate it. And yeah, got a message in the morning, and then it all got sorted. So it all happened super quickly. But as far as preparation goes, I'm super prepared. I just came out of full training camp, competed this weekend. My weight's good. I feel amazing. So yeah, might as well use all that hard work for the comp next week.
Yeah. That's one thing. I mean, you guys at Impact, you guys are always ready anyway. So even if they said to you, okay, Chris, we've got a competition. Obviously, you're doing this one next week, but we've got a competition the week after. I mean, you're always going to be ready. You're always going to be, because you're always training. You're always in shape. So you're never not going to be out of shape.
Yeah, everyone will say in the gym, sort of, as far as like training goes, like I'm always there every day. Even if I don't have a fight coming up, I'm sort of one of these people that coaches have to be like, yeah, maybe you need to take a bit easier this day, or maybe chill today. Yeah, I work really hard, and then I feel that way you stay prepared. So opportunities come up, you're ready for them. I never want to get to the point where I get offered a decent opportunity and I'm like, I don't know. I want to be not even thinking. Yes, like as long as my coaches think it's good, got no other reason not to take it.
Definitely. You're up against a good friend of mine, Tom Strong. So obviously, good pal of mine. We go back obviously a little while. So, but again, it's jiu-jitsu, it's grappling. As I said, maybe if it was MMA, obviously it would maybe be different. But grappling it's about enjoying it, about enjoying grappling. Plus, as well, I mean, see, you know yourself, the last 2 years has been horrible. So see, just to have events, I mean, we're now starting to enjoy grappling, obviously a lot more than maybe we did 2 years ago. So
yeah, I find with grappling, especially the sort of heat going into matches, is normally less. When you hit the mat, normally it's the same chaos that would be an MMA fight. But I feel like grapplers in general are a lot more respectful instead of going into MMA fights. It's when punches involved, people get a bit like hyper, really.
Definitely. Then what's next for you then? So obviously you got this coming up next weekend then. So what do you fancy seeing yourself doing going forward then, Chris?
So I've got my next pro MMA fight confirmed. So I'll be fighting August the 20th at Almighty Fighting Championship. So yeah, as soon as I do this comp, we're sort of back into preparation for that. I'm still in really good shape now, so it's just about sort of ticking over until then. And I feel doing the comp this weekend and next weekend, I'll be so comp ready. So when I get in there, I'll just feel like, oh, I've done this before, minus the punches and kicks and that. So yeah, I'll be ready.
Yeah. Nice. Well, listen, I love Almighty's great as well. I mean, it's a great promotion. Obviously, they always put on great shows. They always put on good matches as well. Really, really evenly matched fights. So, unlike maybe some that you'll see, and maybe they're not as evenly matched, but Almighty's definitely kind of one of the good ones to be on. So, and I hopefully see your Cage Warriors and things like that maybe going forward. So, so fingers crossed for that. So,
and then you're in Cage Warriors, so you never know.
Yeah, saw that. That was a submission, rear naked choke, I believe.
Yeah.
So
good 2 years ago,
yeah, I know you love a rear naked choke as well. Obviously, you look at certainly your MMA record and so on, and you love a rear naked choke.
Jiu-jitsu. To be fair, it's the highest percentage submission. So I think if you chat to most people, like the highest percentage will be RNC, or sort of higher level will be heel hooks and so on. But even higher level, RNC is normally the way to go.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll see one again next weekend at Grapple Kings.
Possibly.
And then final thing for you then, Chris. So obviously been in the game for obviously a good while. So I'm pretty sure again you've trained with a lot of amazing people over the years. But anybody you want to shout out to, so friends, family members, teammates, any sponsors or anything that you may have.
Yeah, so first thing I want to shout out my sponsors, Grapple Machine. They do my strength conditioning, which, and as you sort of heard today, by me winning the comp, like I'm good, I'm in shape, I feel amazing. And then also Apex Fitness Systems, they sort of handle all my nutrition, which makes the game a lot easier. They just let me know what I need to eat, how much I need to eat, all gets sorted, takes the guesswork out of it, full on science. So yeah, it makes things a lot easier when you're trying to do it professionally. Training partner wise, I'd give a shout out to the usual suspects, so the Mitch Goods of the world, Tom Garland as well. You'll sort of be hearing about him soon as well. He's a beast. And then we've got the guys in the show, obviously, and then a few more. We've got Ellis Good, we've got Pinway, we've got James, we've got Paul Jeffries, we've got Stu as well. He might be on the future shows as well, so look out for him. And then, yeah, shout out all my coaches. So we've got Jake O'Hagan, which is my MMA and wrestling coach, Tom O'Hagan, who's my grappling coach, and we've got Paul Bush, who's my striking coach. So, yeah, shout out to those guys, because I wouldn't be here without them. I might be here, but I wouldn't be as good.
Yes, and a shout out to the Mustangs. Obviously, Paul Jeffries and James Amos. So definitely a shout out to the old guys as well. The old guys. So there we go, guys. We're going to have Chris Sterling, Impact Gym, going to be up against Tom Strong, Jay Butler Jiu-Jitsu. So it's going to be next Saturday, so Saturday the 23rd of July, Radisson Blue Hotel in Cardiff. That's Grapple Kings 8. Now, as I mentioned, ticket availability, head over to the Grapple Kings Facebook page, and it'll take you through to Eventbrite. Now, pay-per-view on this, I've mentioned there's a few different payment options. There's a standalone pay-per-view price, which is $14.99. I think it works out around about 12 or 13 pounds. Or you can go for the direct debit option, which works out just over £4 per month. And for that, you're obviously going to get this event plus all future Grapple Kings events, and also Grapple Fest as well, because obviously Grapple Fest also on Fight TV, so you're going to be able to get all of them as well. So definitely worth £4 a month. And Chris knows, he's a professional MMA fighter, so he knows how much pay-per-views cost. So yeah, £4 a month is an absolute bargain for it. So Chris, listen, absolute pleasure. Thanks again. Obviously, I know, as I said, it's been a busy day for you. So, but listen, I absolutely appreciate, obviously, taking the time to speak to me tonight.
I appreciate it, man. And everyone, order the pay-per-view.
Definitely. Listen, I'm looking forward to seeing you and the rest of the Impact guys next weekend, but enjoy the rest of your week training. And yeah, I'll see you next Saturday, buddy.
Thank you. Appreciate the interview. See you at the comp.
See you then, buddy. Thank you.
That's right. Bye then.